Welcome back to Indian Trace. Do you see anything out of place? Well, sure. It's this bin because we're going to take a look at that. Not the bin, but what came out of that. And there's about 10 great artifacts cast in rhyolite that we're going to check out. Now, sure, we could check out a lot of other bins. There's a lot of other great stuff in here to show and to appreciate, and I partially do it to stir up my own appreciation for the people that made these artifacts. And when the great light and I need a break from writing reports or what have you, well, I tend to err on the side of coming in here and doing something that'll stir up my appreciation as well as possibly some others. Look at that smoky quartz. But all types of quartz around this area, even that point on the top's hard to see, you can disappears. So just a quick look here at the box, and then we're going to go right up to the field where I laid these out. To these. To get a little more comfortable and be able to check these out. And again, welcome back to Indian Trace. Now I do know because of comments that some of you really enjoy the museum type videos that I do, where you can relax a little bit and check out some of the really different types of materials and really fine artifacts from eastern central North Carolina. I was impressed. I was blessed to see some footage from some of the fellas on here that put up their tour to the museum here or there across the country. And I don't get to go to the museums that much anymore, but it was great to be able to check it out. What a different perspective after you're able to go out and harvest the literal artifacts, the authentic, completely authentic. No reproductions, no replicas here that you're going to see here today or ever on Indian Trace. Now, there are some modern nappers that I do feature once in a while that have shared with me, 2 or 3 of them. It's a great point right here, isn't it, as we continue to talk about things. There's 10 that fits in that bin. 10 absolute smokers that just happen to be favorites, so they're easy to pull out and appreciate for me. Now, when it comes to the appreciation of North American Indian artifacts, in no way it's ever hard. It's always easy, no matter what grade the artifact is, super fine or just a simple field point. And that point right there was found at the Archaic. Here's a great point found at Mecca. And look at the back here. And I'll make a couple comments about a point as we go by, and things to notice that I've always been impressed by. Often they'll reduce the back and bevel the back. See the bevel on the back of that point? They knew what they were doing. Complete masters. Well experienced as to what worked most efficiently. Since it's daylight saving time, last night it was, I'm going to go right around, just like the clock, and go right around the circle. Here's a point I found at Crystal Beach. Now I have not closed Moving Day giveaway number 12. I'm pulling that from my memory as I keep moving forward as quick as I can, and I often forget just what the world I posted. But I have not closed it yet. This came from Crystal Beach, I think the very beginning of this year. Sort of a purplish rhyolite mix. The lighting was perfectly natural, and I thought I'd give a good look at the materials for those. Some of you are crazy about materials when it comes to different types of stones. Some of you are crazy about styles. But I think most people that are tuning in here on Indian Trace are just crazy about Indian artifacts for serious reasons, for different reasons. And that Moving Day giveaway last was really just an opportunity for people to articulate what makes these items that we're looking at today so personal. So I figured I would do this and share with you what my answer would be. You don't have to recircle or go back and modify your answers. I've got all the entries, a lot of them, and you can still enter. But what makes these items, which is simple utilitarian, armor-piercing stone points for hunting, is the fact that they are the last remaining connection, the evidence, if you will, of the ancient, archaic, sometimes paleo, woodland, Mississippian, Indian cultures across North America. No other evidence left. And this is evidence stapling itself along a timeline that just verifies, if not anything else, the vast mysteries in humanity. That's a nice piece from Site 7. I might be able to get by there tomorrow, I don't know. Just love that piece. And I'll never forget this because I found this right in the same month about a year ago, the same exact month, maybe 2 weeks before my father passed away. So that point will always remain special to me. These points that you're seeing, I've never considered, probably won't even consider selling or anything. You know how that is. Just some of the points that you have that are favorite points. But I think what makes Indian artifacts personal to me is that the culture, the people of the North American Indian became personal to me in 1978 when I lived with the Navajo Indians in New Mexico. And I didn't live with them and say, you know what, I'd like to find the artifacts of your ancestors. I didn't know anything about it then. I went to museums, but I didn't even know it was allowed. I didn't even know it was possible. Didn't even pass my mind that you could find the evidence of their ancestors. That's a great point right there from, I think it's the Strip, number 2. Love the rhyolite. And here it is very smooth, right up here, a little bit of a relief or a flute. I don't know if I can get the light, just a little bit of a shadow. You'll see that they relieved it here, and it's completely smooth right here. Cool stuff. And so part of the biggest catch for me when it comes to artifacts is the fact that it is a direct connection to humanity that was so far removed from the way we think in American material culture, which is refreshing because we're fighting serious ails in the last 200 years in American material culture, serious political problems. Oh, I think freedom, and I think who we are as human beings can overcome it, not without trial, not without strife, not without some serious buy-in, which has been happening in this last year and a couple months. Great point here from Mecca. So my buy-in is the direct connection, not just to the individual human being that made this piece here, but to their group, to their clan, to the women that were there, to the men, to the boys, to the teenagers who were learning how to nap. But what I think is funniest is that they had to make these things sometimes within 10 minutes, and they went tracking their game, taking their shots with their atlatls, and I'm gonna mean to tell you, they didn't care when they missed, and they missed a whole lot. Hundreds and thousands of times did they miss their shots, and they didn't pause for 1 second to try to figure out where the lost dart went, where the point went. They were so focused on game, so focused on getting that game, knowing it was this is from, did I tell you where that was from? Yeah, I did, Mecca. This one here is from Notchville. And so I like to think about that. That's part of the personal connection for me, is that these points here were about focus for them. They were premeditated, focused on the game, attaining the game that these would, and had proven to get for them. So this was a proven trait for them. They knew that this would work if they executed it. But God knows they didn't care if they lost any of these points. Like us, if we were hunting, I'm not going looking for my bullets. And if I'm an archer, or if I hunt with a bow, there's plenty of arrows that have been lost, and you might as well not even go looking. They disappear quick. So it's funny to me that we can treasure this, but there's a lot of tie-ins that this has. This is it. No more evidence. Nothing else. This is another piece from Mecca. Look at this piece. Trying to do it in slow motion for some people out there so they get a really good look. I think a much better look than a museum could give them behind the glass. A little bit of a personal, and there's some good comments about commentary. I just share what's on my heart, you know. Nothing pre-rehearsed or anything. That's a great point from Mecca. I was happy to find that. All of these, just to me, are just top line smokers. Figured I'd pull them today. Here's a point from Mecca. Look at that relief on the back. You picking it up too? In Rhyolite. And so although we can admire and we have a connection to the people through the artifacts that we're able to harvest and find, and I've been catching up on some of the videos from Ditchwalker and been stunned, blown away. Many guys across the country, many of you guys, maybe you tune in here, maybe not. I can't even describe. It's different materials, of course, than what I have, but it's just stunning. It's good stuff, good work you do out there to find and save. And here's another piece here from the Cascade, the finishing piece for today. And I found that in completely dry. Dry dirt, dry powder, hadn't even rained yet. But I figured I'd go out and get it. Just make a go of it. It's so ground, if you could see it. Around the base. And so the connection for me is the fact that I giggle. Because to them, they would have laughed too. This is nothing valuable. I mean, this is the lowest on the totem pole of value right here is this point. Value to them would be me hauling in a big deer on my shoulders or more. Just a great opportunity. Appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace. Just wanted to give a good look at some of this stuff. Share a little bit. Take an opportunity to give you a little bit of a museum tour. Hope you find out there.